Fabulous Tuesday. I am not too bad. So today there was a big weather shift today. We had some snow, so whenever a weather system moves in, my body takes a few moments to adjust, but I'm still really thankful to be where I am and to be living where I am, and I'm just really humbled to be able to share in a good way. And so before we begin, I always like to start by acknowledging the land upon which we stand, because if you don't know where you are, then you don't know where you're going. I am, my family is from Muskeg Lake Cree Nation, so I'm Cree, Anishinaabe and Métis from Muskeg Lake. And so I honor my family, who is from Treaty 6, which is in Saskatchewan. But I live now in Treaty 7, so I honor Mohkinstsis, which is where we live, which is the home of the Blackfoot, of Siksika, Kainai, and Piikani, the Sarsitanei from Tsuut'ina, and the Stoney Nakoda from Morley, which includes Chiniki, Bearspaw, and Wesley First Nations. We're also walking in the footsteps of Métis Region 3, which is why I always proudly wear my Métis sash to act as that bridge between Indigenous and non-Indigenous culture. And this particular sash it was gifted to me actually by Blackfoot Elder, and I'm always really thankful and humbled when I wear it. And I just wanted to welcome everyone into the circle today. Just by saying, like, when I do the acknowledgement, it's more about creating space. It's about creating that moment and that presence and that sense of belonging to the space. It's also honoring and respecting the families that have been here for thousands upon thousands of generations. It's honoring and respecting the teachings of this land and how we are so deeply connected to this land, and all that we have to learn. We have so much to learn, and I think sometimes we're very short-sighted. I know there's a lot of events that say the land acknowledgement, but if you don't understand why you're doing it, you're kind of missing the point. So it's really just important to know, why are we here? You know, why are we connected? Why is it important to thank the people here? But also it's important to build those relationships. That's the biggest part of any land acknowledgement. It's to acknowledge those relationships, to be able to repair and rebuild, not only with each other, but also with the land itself. And also that responsibility that we have for our future generations. And I always love to start with the Cree welcome song. So traditionally when we sing songs, we sing in rounds of 3 to honor the 3, or yeah, I'm really tired. 4 to honor the 4 directions of the medicine wheel, which I always have laid out, or I always have somewhere on me, or even on my drum bag, just as that reminder to be humble, to stay balanced, to acknowledge everything in the circle, and to know we need all those directions. We need all 4 elements of our being, of the world, of our body, of like everything. We need all of those elements together to be able to work. But this song really acknowledges everybody in the circle. By keeping it in rounds of 3, we keep it open, so the circle is open and welcoming, because there are people that come in and out throughout the live stream. Just like at events, there's people that come in and out. It's our way to call in our ancestors too. And so oftentimes when I'm singing this around pets, the pets will be like looking around going, who are all these people? That's pretty awesome, actually. Hi, Sam. And it's just a gift to be able to share this song. It is that sense of like welcoming. It's a sense of belonging. It just brings you into your heart so that you're more open to be within that circle within your heart, and all around us. This song is from the Natahau family from Sturgeon Lake Cree Nation, and I'm always so thankful that this song kind of crossed my path. However, you know, in different ways that it has kind of come in and out, but I'm just really thankful to that family for keeping this song alive and for keeping the story behind the song alive, because again, for so many generations we weren't able to. Doing something like this would have been unseen generations ago, and so it's such a gift to be able to have those families and have those people who have maintained the songs and the stories and the traditions and the ways of knowing and the ceremonies, and it's really just that sense of gratitude, that overwhelming gratitude every time I share this song. That not only is it a welcome song, but it is a song of saying thank you. And it teaches us to come into the circle without judgment, which is so important, to never compare ourselves to other people, which is really difficult, especially in our society with social media. You know, you're always just like, oh, that person looks better than me, or that person is like more successful than me. But it's not about that. It's like, what's the path that's unfolding in front of you? And as soon as you start to look at your path, everything else just kind of melts away. And you're able to really move forward and be the best you that you can be, which is so important. And it also teaches us that, you know, we're not going to agree 100% of the time, obviously, but it's those compromises that we can make when we can come together. That's what makes our community resilient. And so that polarizing nature, that's not good for anybody. We need to come together and be in a circle, have those conversations, those hard conversations in some cases, to be able to repair those bridges and those bonds, and to be able to make our world a better place for all of our future generations. And so that's really what this song really honors and represents. And so Mia Sin, which is the Cree welcome song, it also means beautiful. It means it is beautiful to share this space, to share this circle with you, to share this world with you. You are beautiful, and we are beautiful together with the relationship that we have. Mother Earth is beautiful. All of these things. And so I'm going to sing it. I'm going to move my chair out of the way. Whee! My throat's a little scratchy today, so I don't know how 100% I'll be, but I will do my best. Mia sin, mia sen, ha semina, ha semina, e petakote. Niwa gomagan Hota Homa Kita skino Miasen Miasen Hasemina Semina e petakote niwa gomagan hota homa kita skino miasen miasen hasemina hasemina e petakote niwa gomagan Hota Homa Kita skino. Hi, and welcome to the circle today, everyone. So I'm going to start with a smudge just because it always makes me feel so much better when I smudge. And yeah. And I didn't get a chance to smudge today just because I was so busy. And oftentimes when you're busy, that's when you need to smudge the most. And so just a quick little crash course on how I have my medicines laid out. And again, this is just the one of the ways that some of the Cree Nations lay out their medicines. This is the way I lay out my medicines. But everybody has a little bit of a different teaching around the medicine wheel. So again, not right or wrong, just different. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's important to learn which layout of the medicine wheel works for you and what makes sense to you and what makes you feel grounded and what makes you feel balanced. Again, I'm just here. I can only share the knowledge that I know, and if it makes sense to you, awesome, and if it doesn't, that's okay too. So in the east, I have the color yellow. I have sweetgrass, and sweetgrass is considered the men's medicine, the sweetest medicine, the children's medicine, and it is good for our minds. It's connected to the morning, the springtime, and the power of fire. Then we're going to go to the south, and in the south I have beautiful, beautiful cedar. And cedar, I've been having a lot in tea, actually, today and yesterday. As soon as I started to feel a little bit of a tickle in my throat, I was like, well, it's time for tea. So I've been having quite a bit of cedar tea with lots of honey in it and some bear root and some other things, but because it doesn't taste the best. But it is our body medicine, so it teaches us to really honor our body, to honor our physical earth, to be able to honor, you know, our connection and our relationship with our own body and our connection, our relationship with the earth. because that's what sustains us. It reminds us that we have that ongoing relationship. Every time we breathe, we have a relationship with the air, with the plants. And so it's that reminder of honoring that relationship and honoring that relationship with ourselves as well. We have to give to ourselves just as much as we give back. And it's connected to the summer because that's when all of the plants actually grow to fruition. It's connected to the adolescence because that's when we go through the most physical changes, but that's also when we need to learn how to build a relationship with ourselves. And yeah, it's really about grounding and direction. And yeah, cedar's just jam-packed with vitamins and minerals. That's why I use it about this time of year. So we've got deer, elk, moose, and buffalo. Oh, if you're... Oh no! I couldn't imagine being allergic to cedar. I use so much of it. Well, there's probably other medicines out there that will do the job just as well, Jake. So the next medicine that we have is sage. Sage being the women's medicine. It is in the West. It's connected to Grandmother Moon. It's connected to water. It's connected to our heart medicine because, of course, our emotions are liquid. This is why whenever we get upset or frustrated or sad or even angry, or sometimes even when we laugh too hard, we cry. We leak from our face because our emotions are so powerful. They have to get out somehow. So it teaches us really about honoring those emotions because that's what connects each and every one of us. There we go. That one over there. And that is what I'll be smudging with today. So I'm just pulling it off of the stem so that I can make a smudge ball with it. So this is, people are like, how do you prepare your smudge? So this is the Cree crunch, where you crunch it all together, like that. And then this is the blackwood roll. So, and that's just what I've been taught. But it smells so good, because once you roll it in your hands, it unlocks all the oils that are in this particular type of sage, which is buffalo sage, which is a prairie sage, which grows all over Alberta, BC, Manitoba, and Saskatchewan. Not all of BC, just the prairie-ish areas. Oh, and hi, Gwendolyn. And then the last medicine that we have is tobacco. I have been gifted all of these beautiful little tobacco ties, so I have them on my desk. This is pipe tobacco, which I have brought into ceremony with me. And so, and I also have Kinsasa or Kennebec here, just in case you're in a ceremony where you have to take in all 4 medicines. We use this instead of tobacco because we're not supposed to take in tobacco. But it's a symbolic medicine. It's a medicine that we pray with, so it's spirit medicine. And it teaches us when we gift it to say thank you from our spirit to someone else's spirit. And so this is why we have all the medicines laid out. It's connected to the air as well. To honor all of those directions, to honor all of those seasons, to honor all of those parts of our being, all of those parts of our lives, and all of those elements. And so what I like to do before I smudge is I actually take off my earrings. My jewelry, well, jewelry holds energy, and you don't want to hold on to that energy because when we smudge, it's our way to like let go of things that we don't want to carry with us. Whoops. And I just realized I don't have my matches. There we are. Oops, I also have my hair thing too. Oops, there we go. And again, there's no right or wrong way to smudge. It's whatever feels good to you. I'm going to bring it over here so it's closer to me when I smudge. It's our way to let things go and bring things in. And there's no right or wrong way to smudge. There's a few teachings that I carry. For example, when I'm lighting my smudge, I never light it with a lighter. I only use a match, or even if you only have a lighter, then like light a stick and then light it, because we're actually not supposed to have, you know, butane and plastic and these things that make up the lighter, and so it disrespects our relationship with the earth when we put it directly on the medicine. But by lighting it, it's almost like a little transposed. But try and have matches whenever you do. Like I always have extra matches with me. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to fan it. You want to fan it with your hand or a feather or a fan if you have one. You never want to blow on it because your breath is your life and your life is precious and you don't waste that for anybody. So the first thing I do is I clean my hands in it so that I get rid of anything that I'm carrying. I bring it over my body 4 times to honor the 4 directions in my body. I smudge my mind so I can think clearly and learn from every person that crosses my path. So I can be open-minded, and never rigid with my thinking. I smudge my ears so I can be open to hear all of the messages that Creator sends me. So I can remember to listen twice as much as I speak, and to be able to hear truly and authentically. Girls, I'm doing my live stream. Sorry about the cursing. I smudge my eyes so I can see clearly and see all of the beauty that surrounds me, to honor my vision, but also so that I have the insight and foresight to see the unseen. I smudge my nose so I can smell danger and nature and cookies. I smudge my mouth so I can speak only true and kind words that are helpful and in line with the 7 teachings. So I always ask myself, is it truthful? Is it helpful? Is it kind? If it's none of those things, don't say it, don't do it. I smudge my throat because I'm very thankful for my voice this lifetime, so I can continue to give voice to the voiceless. As an activist, I try and elevate people's voices. And I always forget to share my name, so my Cree name, which was given to me by my Mushum, is She Who Sings and Dances with Spirits in a Storm. And then my Blackfoot name, which was gifted to me by Elder Clarence Wolfleg, is Red Singer, because there's not a word for pink in Blackfoot. So I need to learn how to say them in their languages, but we'll get there. I smudge my heart so I can remain kind and compassionate and show unconditional love to all those that cross my path, to my family, to my friends, and to all my relations, also with myself. Smudge my lungs so I breathe good, clean air, and to honor the sacred breath that we all share. I smudge my stomach so all of the food that I eat this day will nourish my body. I smudge my belly button because I'm very thankful for my spirit this lifetime. That's where our spirit is. This is where we're connected before we come into this world. So that is where our intuitions speak to us, because that's our spirit yelling at us. This is why it's never wrong. I smudge my womanhood because I'm very thankful to be a woman and a mother in this time. I'm a two-spirit woman, and I carry both masculine and feminine traits and ceremonies. But I am very, very humbled to have been able to bring kids into this world. I smudge my shoulders and my back so I can carry all of the responsibilities that Creator's gifted me with grace and humility. I smudge my arms and my hands so I can do the good work that Creator's put me here to do. I smudge my legs so I can walk this red road in a good way. I smudge my feet so I stay grounded and connected to Mother Earth, treading lightly upon her and honoring her with every step. And then if there's anywhere else in your body that you need a little extra love, like my throat's been bugging me a little bit because it gets cold as soon as it gets cold, and my lungs start bugging me, so I smudge that. And I smudge my hips, because I always do that. After 4 major hip surgeries, you always want to smudge your hips. And then if there's anyone in your life that you want to send that love to, that appreciation to, you hold them in your heart, and you send them that love, the good intentions, that healing. And it could be physical healing, mental healing, spiritual healing, or emotional healing. Right? Just that love and that intention. Send them that way. And then when you're all done, you say thank you in your language. In my language, it's hi, or merci, or grazie, or xie, or however you say thank you in your language. Pardon me. So, I'm going to share the 4 Directions song, because that's been in my head lately. Well, I learned it as the 4 Winds song, but it is called Wende Aho. It's also called the Cherokee Morning Song, and Robbie Robertson Nulali actually had brought it forth. It's a great song. And when I learned it, I actually learned it because I can hear the 4 winds. I can hear the 4 directions in it. But it also kind of follows that path of the sun. So it teaches us to honor all of those 4 directions, 4 times of our lives, and to just appreciate being in that time. So this is Wende Aho, the 4 Directions song, or the 4 Winds song. Wende Aho. sore throat. And so I think today I'm probably just going to share a couple of stories, just to kind of save my throat, because I'm supposed to be singing and drumming with kindergarten kids tomorrow. So I got to save my voice. I don't know if you've ever met kindergarten kids before, but they can be loud. They're a lot of fun, so I need to kind of conserve my voice a little bit. Although it'll probably be gone by the end of the day. But oh, it's sweet to see you, my sister. Hi. So I'm going to share with you the story of, I shared this story a while ago, but I really, really love this story. It's a story about where Creator has kind of like hidden our gifts, hidden our purpose, hidden our spirits. And so a long time ago, before we were created, the Creator held a council of the animals, and he told all of the animals, hey, come on, there's going to be this new breed, there's going to be this new being that comes to the planet, and it's going to walk around on two legs, and it's going to be shaped and molded after, myself, being Creator, and Wasaka Jack being that trickster spirit, and a few of the other spirits, and we won't have any knowledge of this world, so you'll have to learn and be able to teach them different things, because they won't really know. They won't even really have a purpose, because they'll be good at so many different things that it'll be hard for them to figure out what their path is. And the animals didn't think that was very wise, because of course when an animal is born, they know exactly what their purpose is. They know exactly, the beaver knows that it's meant to build beautiful beaver dams and redirect a river. Like, the pollinators know that they're supposed to pollinate. The bear knows it's supposed to keep everything in balance. There are all of these rhythms in nature that all of the animals know that they adhere to. They understand the laws of nature. But to have a being that didn't really understand it like the animals did, that was going to be really strange. But they agreed. They said, okay, Creator, what would you like us to do? And he said, well, first of all, you're going to have to teach them how to live in a good way on this land. But also, we're going to have to give them a purpose, a spirit. Just like you have your spirits, but they're always within you, and they're really easy for you to know and to find and to be. These two-leggeds will really have a difficult time with it. And so they'll have to really work for it to be able to find it. So we should hide their spirits somewhere, their purpose somewhere. Where should we hide it? And so he was asking all of the animals for ideas. And Mole said, well, what about digging it under the earth? If we bury it under the earth, they won't be able to find it there. And Creator shook his head and he said, no, unfortunately, Mole, they will be able to find it there. They'll be able to dig deep into the earth, and they will be able to find it there easily. So, and Mole was quite surprised. He thought, there was very few of the animals that actually could dig into the earth. How could these two-leggeds do it? Especially because they didn't know their purpose. So, but he agreed, okay, Creator, well, where else? And so he asked the other animals, like, where are other places that we could hide it? And then the goat, who loves to climb the mountain, said, well, what about up in the mountains? If we climb it up into the mountains, I'm sure they won't reach it. And he said, no, unfortunately, they'll be able to easily reach it in the mountains. They will start to ford and climb all sorts of mountains and hills, and they'll even reach some of the highest peaks on Earth. So that's probably not the best place to hide their purpose, because, one of the other two-leggeds might find somebody else's purpose and not really know what it's for. And all of the animals agreed, okay, not in the mountains. And so all of the animals were kind of talking to each other, thinking about some of the best places to hide their purpose. And they thought, well, what about, Turtle said, what about under the sea? Because if it's at the very, very bottom of the ocean, then they will have a really hard time going there. And you said they're modeled after you, so you need to breathe the air. They wouldn't be able to hold their breath that long. And, Creator shook their head and said, well, unfortunately, no, these two-leggeds will be able to one day reach the bottom of the sea, and they will definitely be able to find that purpose, that spirit. And Turtle was amazed that anyone would be able to reach the bottom of the sea, because it's very hard for her to even reach the bottom of the sea. And all of the animals started to convene again, and Magisi, the eagle, said, well, what about within the air? If it's in the sky, then they won't be able to reach it, because they have no place to stand, no place to land, and no place that they could find it. And Creator shook his head and said, no, unfortunately, one day they will create amazing machines that will be able to fly into the sky, and so they will be able to easily find the purpose up there and find their spirits up there. And McEasy was amazed. He thought only the birds were the ones to be able to fly. How could these things that walked around on two legs be so inventive and ingenuitive that they would be able to go under the ocean and up the mountains and under the earth and up into the sky? It was amazing. So all of the animals started thinking and wondering, well, what could they do? How could they hide their spirit? And then the owl softly, hoo-hoo, hoo-hoo, what about on Grandmother Moon? If we hide their spirits on Grandmother Moon, they won't be able to find them there. And Creator said, no, one day they will be able to reach Grandmother Moon. They will be able to touch her surface and step down on the moon. All of the animals were just amazed. They said, what are these things that are coming? That they could reach Grandmother Moon? But still, it wasn't a very good place for them to put their purpose, their spirit. And so they had to discuss again. And none of the animals could figure out where they could hide their spirits, their purpose. And then there was a teeny tiny little voice. And Mouse stepped forward and said, Creator, why don't we put their spirits within them? Because then only the two-legged that is meant to find that spirit will find it. And they'll have to work very hard to go within. And Creator was amazed at the wisdom of the little mouse and said, yes, yes, little mouse, of course, we'll put it within them. And so to this day, our spirits and our purpose is deep within, but we have to connect to our own spirit, to our own heart, to our own body, and to our own mind to be able to bring all those things together to find our spirit. And so that is the spirit song. Or the spirit story. I'm going to share the voices song with us. So I actually haven't done this one in forever. So this is a call and response song usually. I'm going to try and do it. But this is the voices song, the ancestor song, the shout out song. It's also known as the berry picking song. And I'll actually share the story behind it before I sing it. But it's very appropriate for finding your voice, and I'm hoping to find my voice tomorrow. So this song is from Carrie Moore. It was from her grandmother, and the story that I know behind the song is a long, long, long time ago in our tribal days, women would traditionally go berry picking. And as they would all go berry picking, the grandmothers were the ones in charge. You know, I don't know about you, but my kokum could be quite scary. Nobody argues with that woman. So, the grandmothers were always the ones in charge. And the reason that we had matriarchal societies is because the women were not only just in charge, but they made sure that everybody was taken care of. And so nobody got left behind, nobody felt out, and everybody was honored. Everybody's voice was heard, and everybody's voice was honored. And the grandmothers were essential in maintaining that. And so everybody had a deep respect for the women of their nation, and specifically the grandmothers in their nation, because they carried that wisdom. And so the grandmothers would take everybody out berry picking. All of the women would go, all of the kids would go, the two-spirit people who were learning the berry picking traditions would go. But if you were two-spirit, you had to go and learn both berry picking and hunting. You would have to learn both. And so as everybody would go out berry picking, the grandmothers would of course sit at the biggest bush, and they'd be picking as many berries as they could be, but for the most part, they would be in charge of watching the babies. And if anybody knows how babies explore the world, they put everything in their mouth because babies are disgusting and adorable. And so the grandmothers would be like, oh, don't eat that dirt, or oh, spit out that pine cone, or don't chew on grass, or ooh, are you eating a bug? Get that out of your mouth. Or ooh, what are you eating now? Are you eating a leaf? Spit that out. Or don't chew on that rock. Or oh, get the squirrel out of your mouth. Squirrels don't belong in your mouth. Put the squirrel down. And so babies will put literally anything in their mouth. And so the grandmothers would be doing that. And then the littler kids would be running around, and they would be, like the tiny, tiny kids, the toddlers, would be sitting and listening to these stories of their elders. So any of the elders that were just too old to go hunting with the men, or just too old to go berry picking, they would sit and they would share these beautiful, amazing stories with the little guys. And as they were listening to these stories, they'd be just sitting there intently eating berries, and they'd just generally be sticky. That hasn't changed in thousands of generations. Kids under the age of 5, generally sticky. The older kids would be running around. They would be learning from the world around them by playing, which is such an amazing way to learn. So they would be climbing trees and skipping stones and playing tag and playing hand games and, just learning about the different plants and the animals and how to interact with everything around them in such a beautiful way. And I think we missed that. The boys, once they turned 12, they were considered on their path to becoming a man, so that they would go hunting with the men. And the girls would stay behind. So the teenage girls were there. They were not really picking as many berries as they should be because they would be too busy talking about their crushes. Like, oh my gosh. Did you see that guy's moccasins? He is like so super cute. And that hasn't changed in thousands of generations. And then, of course, the mums and the aunties would be the ones picking all of the berries for the nation for the year. Because, like I said, not a lot has changed in thousands of years. And so as everybody was scattered to the 4 directions and it was time to go, the grandmothers would call out. But they wouldn't say, yo, where you at? Because that would be silly and totally not relevant to the era. But they would call out using this voice. And as soon as you heard that voice, you knew that was your grandmother calling you. So I would hear, I'm like, oh, well, that's my Kokum. I should call back. So I'd call back. She'd be like, oh, well, there's Chantal. So I'd hear other voices. All right, there's my cousin Yvonne. I know she's over there. And then I would hear, there's my cousin Megan. I know she's over there. Hi, hi, hi. All right, there's my mom. Can't do my mom's voice with a straight face, but she's over there. Then I would hear, all right, there's my cousin Steph. I know she's over there. And so as you would hear these voices, you would know where everybody was and that it was time to come home. Now, this was really important because in times of war or in times of danger, you would have a safe camp, but you wouldn't just wander in and be like, hey, is everybody okay? Because you didn't know, right? You didn't know if it was safe. You didn't know if the camp was compromised. And so you would have to wait. You would wait until silence fell and until darkness fell. And then you would call out. And then you would listen. And I would hear, all right, this is my son Lyndon. I know he's over there. All right, there's my friend Ashlyn. I know they're over there. And then I would hear, there's Stephanie again. I know she's over there. Who? There's my Auntie Georgie. I know she's over there. And then I would hear, there's my friend Darcy. I know he's over there. And so you would hear all of these wonderful voices. Whoop, 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 whoop. There's my cousin Michelle. She's a little weird, but she's over there and she's fine. And so as you would hear these voices, you would know that it was safe to come home. And so you would get together and you would rebuild camp and you'd celebrate the fact that you'd found each other again. But now, we don't use our voices like we used to. I mean, I do, because I'm a crazy person. No. And it's the best and most effective way to find your kids in Walmart. So, because if we're stuck in the middle of Walmart and I have been waiting and wandering around and trying to find the kids, and I get frustrated and fed up, I'll just call out. And then I'll hear, there's my son Lyndon, usually in the electronics section. Then I'll hear, Mom, could you just not? You're embarrassing me. All right, there's my eldest son Cloud, usually in the deli. And then I'll hear shuffling footsteps behind me and, could you just not? That's so embarrassing with the girls behind me. But I find them every single time. And it's great when you're camping too, because not only can you find each other over a really great distance, but it also scares the heck out of bears, because bears are like, those people are loud and obnoxious and I'm out. I don't want anything to do with them, because bears think we're loud and obnoxious. And so they'll avoid us, which is a good thing. But it's just such a gift. So whenever I go to summer camps or anything, that's the first thing I teach them is how to find their voice. And so when you're looking for your voice, and the older you get, the harder it is to find it. Your voice is right in your belly button, and that's where your spirit is. That's where you're connected before we come into this world. And so this is where we're connected to our spirit as well. And so our voice sometimes gets trapped in other areas of our body. So it might get trapped in our mind because we're overthinking things or you're worried too much. It might get stuck in our mouth because sometimes we just talk for the sake of talking, but we're not actually saying what we mean or what we feel. Sometimes it'll get stuck in our throat because we're not speaking out at all, and we're not standing up for ourselves or for those people or those things in our life that matter. It could get stuck in your shoulders or your back, because those are the voices that you put on for other people, whether it be your family or your friends or work or your partner or whoever, school even, but those aren't your genuine voices. So you have to find your genuine voice by like kind of getting rid of all of that stuff that's holding your actual voice down. Is it getting stuck here in your heart or in your chest? So this is where we have we hold our pain or that trauma or that sadness, or those hardships. So this is where we hold self-love as well. And so sometimes when we've gone through all of that pain and hardship and sadness and trauma, we have a really hard time connecting to our heart and connecting to our voice and recognizing that we are of value, that we deserve love and we are love. And so as soon as we can reconnect with that by, shouting out with our voice and clearing out all that pain, that's where we're going to find, true healing. Is it getting stuck here in our tummy? So this is our self-worth. This is like our self-esteem. So anytime you're like, I suck, or you're comparing yourself to somebody else, you're like, I can't do that, you're kind of holding your voice down because you're not letting yourself flourish. Or is it getting stuck in your belly button? Because that is when you're trying to connect deeply to your spirit. Sometimes there's so much other stuff in the way. So you just gotta take a deep breath, breathe deeply into your belly button, and find your spirit and let it out. And so when you find it, it might sound like a squeak or a roar. It might sound like an animal. It might sound like an alien. Who knows? But no matter what, when you find your true authentic voice, it feels amazing. You might laugh hysterically because you can't believe that sound came out of your body. You might cry because it brings up so much stuff that can get stuck in multiple places in your body. But no matter what, it's so cathartic and you feel incredible once you finally let it go. And so, yeah, this song, it's the grandmother calling out and you're calling back. And so I'll just lay out the words. Again, this is Carrie Moore's song. This is not mine. But it's a gift to be able to share it. So the words are, Weya heya, weya, weya heya. So, weya heya, weya, weya heya, weya heya, weya, weya heya. Weya heya, weya, weya heya, weya heya, weya, weya heya. Weya heya, weya, weya heya, weya heya, weya, weya heya. Weya heya, weya, weya heya, weya heya, weya, weya heya. So we're going to sing that through 4 times onto the 4 directions of our body, of our being, of, the world. I'm going to move this out of the way. But the 3rd round, so this song tells this story. So the 3rd round, we're actually going to get quiet because that's the round when they're looking for their safe camp. But then the 4th round, we found each other, so we're going to get loud and celebrate. And the beat of the song is nice and simple, so when you're at home, you can definitely sing and drum along. of practice. It took me a while to find my voice. And when I did, I felt amazing. And I use it all the time, which is great. So, my throat is really bugging me. I'm going to try and sing the healing song and bring that healing not only to my own being and my own self, but to everyone around us. This song is, it's called the Crying Song or the Healing Song. And so in it, you can probably hear the tears, but it's really about asking for the things that we need and asking for the things that other people around us need and really taking care of each other. And it's that healing pulse, that healing energy, that healing beat, the drum beat, which is that pulse of Mother Earth. So it's that heartbeat, which connects each and every one of us, because that's the first sound that we hear when we're within our mother's being, and then the first that we feel throughout our entire being. And so that's that sense of connection through that heartbeat. And healing comes when we connect with ourselves and with each other. And so, yeah, this is the Cree healing song, or the crying song, or the wailing song. We sing it 4 times. The third round, though, we actually stop drumming, and in that silence, we invite you to, hold those people in your life that need those prayers. Hold yourself if you need those prayers as well. And it's really just setting that intention of healing for those people who might need, that physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual healing. But anyone who needs healing on this journey, and our beautiful Mother Earth, but also the healing for our society, because we're going through a hard time right now. It's really difficult for a lot of people, but it's recognizing that we're all in this together. And so this is the Cree healing song, or the crying song, or the wailing song, and I have seen miracles happen with this song, so I'm very blessed to have been able to share it. A few different elders have gifted it to me, and many of them have said it's the time that we need to heal together as one family. This is why we say all my relations, because we're all related. That we have to heal together. So I think I have a date with cedar tea, so I think I'm going to cut this off early. But I just wanted to thank everybody for joining me today. Please feel free to share it or watch it whenever you have an opportunity. I always say whatever's meant to be shared will be shared in that moment, and this is why sometimes there's a little bit of repetition, but that's the way we learn. That's the way we learn songs, that's the way we learn stories, is through that repetition, and those messages that we're meant to have in that time, and even time, that's what we'll be sharing. And so I just wanted to thank everyone. I'm going to share the traveling song and send everybody on their way in a good way. I hope everybody has a beautiful week. And I'm just really humbled and thankful that I could share today. So, wish everybody. This is the traveling song. This song was shared with me through my elder, Sharon Prue Turner. And I'm just really humbled and thankful every time I'm able to share this song. And yeah, just be able to remember her and honor her in a good way. And I thank Ashley and Yolanda for bringing this song back because I thought it was gone forever, and then all of a sudden it crossed my path again right when I was thinking about her. So yeah, this is the traveling song, so that all roads lead home, and it teaches us that everything happens for a reason, everything happens for a purpose. So it's how we choose to use it and shape it and mold it, and is to affect our lives. But also it teaches us that all roads lead to home. You know, family is where we make it, home is where we make it, and it's about the journey, it's not about the destination. So this is the traveling song. Hi everyone, Chimagwich, thank you again for joining me. I hope everyone has a beautiful week. Stay healthy, my friends. I know it's kind of weird when the weather changes so quickly that our bodies are like, well, what's going on? But that's kind of where I'm at. So I have a date with cedar tea. Lots of honey because it doesn't taste very good. But thank you again. And yeah, please let me know if anybody has any requests for next week or any suggestions. I'm totally open. And last week, unfortunately, I had to take my cat to the vet, and I was thinking it was only going to take like an hour or two, and it ended up taking like 5 hours. So, but he's okay. He's fine. He just won't stop scratching one spot because he's kind of a jerk face. But he's an adorable jerk face, and I love him. And he's got a lovely cone of shame on right now and lots of layers of bandages. So he's gonna be fine. He might even be online to bug me next week. So we'll see how it goes. So again, thank you everyone. Stay healthy, stay well, sending lots of love, and I will see you next week. Miigwech everyone.